All right, this part of my demonstration here is putting louvers on your pop-out windows. Now, fixed windows, these go on really easily. I paint them to match my car because it's way cooler. So you peel back the rubber, and tuck the one end in, you pop the other end in, and you shove it towards the back so that there's no gap. And you grab your next one, you stick that in there, and you go right down the line, putting them in. Until you come to the end. Make sure you close up all your gaps. Make sure they're not laying on top of each other when they're underneath the rubber. And voila, you will have louvers on your fixed windows. Last one's tough to get in. I don't use the blank cover piece that they come with. I find it's more of an annoyance than a benefit. So put that in, and that, and now you have louvers on your fixed window. But pop-outs are a little different. You don't have a piece of rubber around the glass to hold the louvers. So you have to put some rubber around the edge. And because these are actually slightly longer than the glass. So if you put rubber around the edge of the glass, it tends to push it off. And because the pop-out window opening is barely big enough for the window to close, if that rubber gets pushed outwards, it'll prevent the window from closing. It will make the louvers loosen up. They're designed to be under tension, and it gives them an attractive look when they're on the car, when they're bowed slightly. So what I do is, this is basically the same stuff that you put around your doorway openings. It's also the same sort of stuff that the fixed windows have to grab the flange. It's got a metal core. Now, this is not the right size stuff. You need stuff that's about 1/4 of an inch in diameter. And you would put this all the way around your glass like that. You would leave some people leave a space around there, but most people don't have pop-outs, don't have louvers on their pop-out glass. So I run it all the way to the edge. In fact, if I have extra, I'll make it long. Now, you got to make the rubber stay in place. You don't want, and I use either, it was suggested to me that I use aquarium silicone. I did that on my red car outside. I was not happy with this. It took forever for it to dry. And I'm a big fan of using goop. That's what I put my headliners in with. It's what I glue the upholstery in. And it basically sets solid in about an hour. And overnight for sure. I had some of this holding this rubber on a previous situation I had with my red car. I couldn't get this stuff off the glass. It stuck to the glass so well, it was unbelievable how much work it was for me to get it off of there. I had to use WD-40 and a whole bunch of scrapers and stuff to get off. So this stuff works. And I'm going to do it this time around when I glue the rubber around the window and put the louvers on. But you don't want glue to be on this side of the rubber or the glass. This is the outside, because you want to be able to take your louvers in and out. If you glue this on and then try to get the louvers on, you won't be able to get the louver in. So what I did on the other car is I ran a bead of the aquarium sealant all around just the inside. So that was nicely coated. Make sure your glass is nice and clean, no oily fingerprints, because you want this stuff to stick. You don't want any impurities on the glass. I also put some along the edge on the side. And I tried not to get any over here. Now with it all glued up, I put my rubber on. Now imagine this thing's all covered with glue, with silicone. And what I discovered is that you're going to end up with silicone smeared all over the glass. Because it's a pain in the ass to put it on and then hold it in place while you push it on. Oh, now you got it on your hands here. So what I did, that was the first window. That came out, that was a disaster. So what I did in the second window is I covered both sides of the glass with blue painter's tape, and I left a 1/2 inch gap where I didn't put the tape all the way around. And I did it to both sides. That was way better. No smudges on the glass. I could leave the tape on until everything dried, and then I just peeled the tape off, and I only had to deal with a little bit of silicone showing after I pushed the rubber on. Now, when you put the rubber on, you want it on there really tight as you can get it on there. And you don't want to put your louvers on until after you're really sure that you've got this stuff on good. Now, how are you going to do this? Well, you could take it out to your car and you could put it into the window opening that you've already prepped for pop-out windows. You've got the chrome in, you got the rubber in, you got your holes drilled for the latch and for the hinges, and you would basically have pop-out windows without louvers. But if you put the rubber on, put it in the car, screw it in place, close the latch, look all the way around, make sure that your rubber is on nice and smooth and all the way. And you'll see that there won't be like really any gap at all between the chrome and the black rubber. And let it dry for recommended on the tube of fish tank stuff. It said wait 72 hours. That's a long time to wait. Goop pretty much is ready to rock and roll in about an hour, but I would give this stuff about 24 hours to set before you go out and try to and put your louvers in. Leave the window closed, get your louvers on there. On one. And basically you go right down the line with your other louvers. And if you make sure that this side's lined up with the edge of the glass first, and then that will make all the other ones line up properly as you go down the line. And you should have pop-out windows with louvers. I would let the fully assembled thing sit in the car, closed and latched, for a few days. Let that silicone set for a good long time. And that's it. Pop-out window conversion with louvers for your Opel GT.